Hello. Narendra Modi, Amit Shah, and this government stands vindicated. It's a historic day. But this had to happen because the abrogation of Article 370 and 35A corrected a historic injustice that had brought only misery to the people of Kashmir. Let me explain why very briefly. Number one, the instrument of accession signed between the Maharaja of Kashmir and India in October 1947 is identical to what many rulers of other princely states also signed, with all these states later merging completely with India. After all, the choice given to the 600 odd principalities in 1947 was to join either India or Pakistan. They could not become independent. Kashmiris aren't special, they are just like the rest of us. Two, it is a fact that Hyderabad could so easily have been what Kashmir is today, and fools would be writing column yards on its struggle, but for one man, Sardar Patel, who incidentally was not even consulted on Article 370, even though it was deemed temporary in nature. Jawaharlal roega, he told V. Shankar later. Jawaharlal didn't cry, but a billion Indians did. Nehru had also asked Sheikh Abdullah to approach Dr. Ambedkar for the drafting of Article 370. The Sheikh approached Ambedkar, and this is what, according to Professor Madhok, Dr. Ambedkar told the Sheikh, quote, "You want India to defend Kashmir, feed its people, give Kashmiris equal rights over India, but you want to deny India and Indians all rights in Kashmir? I am the law minister of India. I cannot be a party to such a betrayal of national interests," unquote. 3. Article 35A was illegal. It was applied to J&K surreptitiously in 1954 through a presidential order without invoking Article 368. It bypassed the parliament altogether, finds mention only in an appendix. Worse, I quote now what Nehru said on the floor of the House, quote, "Government of Kashmir is rightly afraid that Kashmir would be overrun by people whose sole qualification might be too much money and nothing else," unquote. Those who wanted 370 and 35A stood against the integration of Kashmir. It is they who believed in the two-nation theory. 4. On August 5, 2019, the crown of India was finally without thorns. Modi corrected a historic injustice that had brought untold misery to the people of Kashmir, who never entered the mainstream Kashmir discourse because it was hijacked by those who, either through the patronage of religion or Pakistan or both, played victim when it was actually they who perpetrated injustice. Refugee Melu Ram, one of 2 lakh West Pakistan refugees who ran for their lives and settled in Kashmir. Melu Ram and his children were barred from local jobs and welfare schemes. Gurkha Sagar Sahi, whose ancestors were brought to Kashmir to fight the invaders. Sahi won a gold medal in the Commonwealth Championships. Sahi applied for a job in J&K police. Sahi was rejected because he wasn't a domicile. Dalit Radhika Gill, her family was brought to Kashmir to work as sweepers in 1957. Radhika cleared the BSF entrance exam, but Radhika could only get a job as a sweeper because she wasn't a domicile. For 70 years, the human rights of lakhs of Dalits, Gurkhas, women, Sikhs, refugees were brutally trampled upon by the state. But its politicians, like Farooq Abdullah, delighted in saying, and I quote him, quote, "They want to abolish 370 and we'll remain silent? Inshallah, we will fight. We dare them. Allah would want that we gain independence from India," unquote. Well, the only independence that was gained was by India from people like him. 370 abrogation heralded the birth of new Kashmir of truth and justice need no allies. They sparkle in the eyes of the Dalit Radhika, who can now get a job other than sweeping streets, and a million others like her who aren't orphans anymore. Finally, this also has to be said. The same Supreme Court that constituted a high-powered bench to look at the abrogation of 370, that was essentially a legislative decision, turned the other way when it came to opening the cases of criminality in 1990 against the Kashmiri Hindus, saying too much time had elapsed. This, after the same Supreme Court constituted an SIT to look into the cases of criminality in 1984 against the Sikhs that happened 6 years before the Kashmiri Hindu genocide. Is that justice?